know I can help them. Let me help them!
Will. Carter. Hey, Will, wake up.
What?
Jesus, Carter. How is it you look worse than before you went to sleep?
I'm fine. And you yelling for me to wake up doesn't help.
I wasn't the one yelling.
What did I say?
Something about a fire. I don't know. I guess after the morning you had, it makes sense.
No, this wasn't about that. It wasn't about Grim Range.
Well, my guess is you're not the only one having nightmares after this morning. Head shrinking's gonna be a big business after this war. If there isn't after this war. Christ, that was dark. Anyway, Falk's looking for you. Wants you in his office, ASAP.
The old man say what he wanted with me?
Ha! Guess you don't know him all that well yet. The director doesn't tell anyone anything he doesn't think they need to know.
Well, I guess you can't really hold knocking off for a few against me, seeing as how we seem to be in our office and our quarters.
Yeah, I guess some parts of the emergency plan leave something to be desired. Ah well, it'll be just like college, right?
Yeah, except I stayed in Mrs. Hawthorne's boarding house back in Terre Haute. Had my own bathroom and everything.
Well, ain't you fancy?
Were you saying something about that radio?
Oh yeah. Cheap thing normally just pipes in the company elevator music, but it's been picking up some weird signal. Damned if I know what it is.
Don't we have more important issues to deal with?
Sure, that's why I haven't bothered with it. But if someone on the outside is able to broadcast through that jamming signal, well, it could be important.
Who would know more about this?
Check with Operator Chelsky. She's information officer for the Bureau. Keeps track of communications, arranges contacts, manages what the public hears. The whole deal.
I'd better go see what the old man wants.
See you later, Will.
Two. Message repeats. 250.
Better make a note of this and talk to one of the radio operators.
9.
You probably ought to run that by Operator Chelsky across
Message
the hall.
repeats.
Might be important.
2.
You the dispatcher?
A little more than that, Agent Carter. I'm Chief Information Officer with the Bureau.
Information officer? What does that mean?
I oversee the dispatchers, but in addition to that, I also manage our public communications and keep our profile low. And for now, my job is also keeping the public from knowing the scope of the threat.
Because rioting mobs of civilians are the last thing we need right now.
Exactly. You and your agents contain the enemy's attacks, and my operators will keep the public panic level in check.
I'll try not to distract you too much.
As long as you have a good reason. What do you need, sir?
Isn't the enemy jamming all communications?
Yes, most broadcasting equipment is facing heavy interference, cutting effective range down to less than 5% of normal.
Then how are you...
Our equipment is significantly more robust. We're still communicating at approximately 90% of effective range. The best of the best, you know.
What does the population know?
They're worried about the communications blackout, but our operatives in the major cities are keeping them in line.
Keeping them in line? You make it sound like they've declared martial law.
Nothing as heavy-handed as that, just a series of emergency preparedness tests. They'll be tense, but orderly.
Radio's been playing a strange broadcast. Any idea what it means?
I heard. It's probably an automated weather station nearby, but I suppose it might be instructions for picking up a weaker signal. A clever broadcaster could bypass the worst of the jamming that way.
It could be survivors. We could bring them in.
It's worth checking out. I'll have Operator Hughes run the radio while you give us the data.
First set the range to... Set the range to 100.
Now the direction?
Set the direction north.
And the frequency?
Set the frequency to 155 kilohertz.
Checking low frequency.
I've taken enough of your time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir?
The radio's been playing
I heard.
It could be survived.
It's worth checking out.
First, set the range to 250.
Now the direction?
Set the direction east.
And the frequency?
Set the frequency to 374 megahertz.
Checking medium frequency.
I've taken enough of your time.
Yes, sir.
You were there. You saw what he was capable of.
I did. It's just... his file paints a different picture.
Okay, agents, let's begin. We going on another wild goose chase, Director? Not this time, agents. Because I brought in an expert agent who I expect to turn the tide. Allow me to introduce your new senior agent, Miss Angela Weaver. Agent Weaver, please begin.
Good evening, agents. Now, we have reason to believe our target is...
Is this some kind of joke?
I assure you, I do not joke about potential
Come on, miss. Get back to reception and leave the real work to us, okay? Agent Percy, watch your tone.
Director, how many concrete cases of the Outsiders have your agents uncovered to this date?
That would be 0.
And how many have I uncovered in my own investigations?
2 confirmed, 1 pending.
Thank you, Director. If I may continue...
Listen up, Agent Percy. Maybe you'll learn how to do your job. Yes, sir.
Now, we have reason to believe an infiltrator has compromised military command.
Speak of the devil.
Carter. Good. Agent Weaver is afraid you don't play well with others. I tend to see that as an asset.
To conclude, all signs show a pattern of systemic interference that cannot be explained by known enemies.
Come over here, Carter. I'd like a word.
But I'm not sure what you're suggesting. These activities aren't from the Reds. They aren't from any known source on Earth, so we must examine alternative sources. You mean to say... aliens? It's more likely than you think. We cannot afford to be caught off guard. Oh, okay, Myron. I think you've been working too hard. Take a little time off, maybe a vacation and... No, listen, this is too important to ignore. My team has already uncovered a half-dozen potential cases of outside interference. No, you listen. I have a meeting with the generals in 2 days, and I will not have you making a laughingstock out of this department. General Deems is already talking about cutting funding. And if that happens, you and your team will be out. Do you understand? Yes, Director. Perhaps you're right about that vacation. That's more like it. Someplace nice and sunny. Lots of fresh air, like New Mexico.
What do you want from me, sir?
You're not here in this facility by chance. I brought you here quite purposefully. I've been following your career for some time.
Why me? I've been behind a desk since... well, for a while.
Yeah, but you were a hell of an agent before you sat behind that desk. And what's more, I know what put you behind that desk.
The brass put me there.
Sure, the brass made the call. But it was you who kept yourself there.
I don't need another round of psychobabble. I had enough of that from the company's shrinks after the incident.
It was an accident, Carter. Beyond your control.
Right, yeah. And next you tell me how I can't save everyone.
It's too late for that. But you can save some of them. And right now, that might be enough.
Right. Well, I'm with you, Falk. If only because, for all we know, this clown show you're running here is all that's left of our nation's defenses.
Then that makes you one of the nation's best weapons.
What do we know about the enemy?
Very little. Before this morning, we only knew of scattered oddities. We weren't even sure if they were connected.
Such as?
Deposits of the substance called Illyrium were found in various locations across the nation. There were weather oddities. We received and investigated reports of what we called thinnings, localized instances where the very fabric of reality itself seemed to be warping, then dissolving.
And this was kept secret?
From whom? The populace? The news would have generated mass panic. No, the circle was kept quite small on this.
What is this place? I mean, when aliens from another world aren't attacking our planet.
This facility is essentially fulfilling its intended function right now. It was created to respond to a potential invasion on domestic soil.
Do all of these people work here?
No. Typically, you won't find much more than a skeleton crew here. But certain carefully selected individuals across all military disciplines are aware of this facility's existence. In the case of a domestic invasion, they're under orders to arrive here.
I never knew about this place.
Well, based on your performance at Groom Range, I'd say that omission was a grievous oversight.
What's our plan?
Our first order of business is to get this facility running at full capacity. I believe our best shot at defeating an enemy with superior technology is to take that technology from them and make it our own.
And we got the facilities to do that?
We're still finishing construction on the lab, but we've already got one of the best leading the team, Dr. Dresner. And he won't be doing it alone. I'm in the midst of organizing field teams to be sent on recon and recruitment missions for other specialists.
I'm heading down to the ready room.
De Silva will meet you there and help you assemble a team. Get moving.
Yes, sir?
Radio.
I heard.
It could be.
It's worth checking.
First, set the ring.
Now the direct.
Set the direction west.
And the frequency?
Set the.
Checking ultra high frequency.
Try again. I know there's a.
If you say so.
First, set the. Set.
Now the direct.
Set the.
And the frequency?
Set the.
Checking.
Try.
If you.
Set.
Now the direct.
Set.
And the frequency?
Set the.
Checking ultra.
Try again.
If.
First, set. Set.
Now the
Set the.
And the free.
Set the.
Checking look.
I've taken enough of you.
Yes, sir.
Welcome aboard, sir.
What do they look like?
I heard some of them look like us.
No way. I've seen them. They look like some kind of... I don't know, some kind of monsters or something. You lost, pal? Well, ready room's that way. How's it going, Agent Carter?
Yes, Director. I'll tell him right away.